It's never too early to talk Aztecs hoops, is it? Off a Sweet 16, which was off a Final Four and a national championship game appearance. It's great to catch up for a first time with an Aztec entering a sophomore season this upcoming fall. B.J. Davis, point guard for the Aztecs, with us on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. B.J., first of all, appreciate you doing it. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure, having me on the show.
Well, we're looking forward to it, and I want you to describe for our listeners what year one is like. Highly sought after player out of high school, one of the top guards in the country, and then you come to a program with veteran guards, and other players have gone through this. So Miles Bird when he got here, or Lamont Butler, and others when they got here. So, what was the first year experience like for you from your perspective?
From my perspective, it was great. I learned a lot, having those veterans in front of me, just picking up on their habits every day, seeing what they do, what works, and really just being able to soak it all in. Like, that was a huge blessing for me, and I wouldn't trade that for anything.
What was the biggest thing you'd say that you did learn? Like, what's the big takeaway from year one that you're going to utilize when you get on the floor next year?
Mm-hmm. I think just how I approach the game and, my seriousness. I think that's really going to be my main thing I focus on, and try to really make sure that I bring every day, make sure my energy is always there, and, just having that type of stuff down.
So the season ends. It really hasn't been that long. You're in Boston. You get in that game against UConn. I remember, I think you scored the final points for San Diego State. I was there courtside. I thought you got fouled, by the way, on that final bucket. So the season ends. Where does your attention turn? Like, how have you spent these last 6-8 weeks, whatever it is, as you get ready for next year?
Well, I wanted to, hang out with my family a bit just for a few weeks, kind of just decompress. But now it's back into the full swing of things. So I'm really just making sure that I'm more poised than ever. So I'm ready for any opportunity that comes my way. Just really locked in on the little things.
I apologize for cutting you off.
No problem.
What role are you hoping to play this upcoming year? You look at some of the subtractions, obviously, with some of the guards, whether they're graduating or entering, leaving via the portal, but some of the additions coming in via the portal as well. What are you hoping? What role are you hoping to play next year?
I just want to, wherever I can help the team out the most. That's the role I want, to just be that guy that gives it his all and, inspires his team to give it their all as well. So just being that guy that motivates everybody and gets the best out of them, that's really what I want to do.
San Diego State sophomore guard B.J. Davis with us right now. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Everyone that has ever, been a fan of the Aztecs understands to get on the floor at San Diego State, it starts with the defensive side of the ball. Brian Dutcher has always spoken so glowingly about your defensive abilities. Where does that come from? Have you always been known as kind of a defensive-minded guard, even coming out of high school?
Yeah, that's really how, I got on the floor in high school. I wasn't the biggest, strongest guy, so I had to, take it kind of personal and step out there with a chip on my shoulder and tell myself, all right, this dude's not scoring on me. And I think just having that mindset, it got me to this position that I am today in.
What was it like? So here's a first-year player, right, had all the success in high school, and all of a sudden, you're on this veteran team that played in a national championship game the year before you got to San Diego State. Then all of a sudden, you're in a Sweet 16, and again, you got chances to play late in games against Yale, against the University of Connecticut as well. What was the NCAA tournament experience like for you?
It was surreal, just growing up as a kid, watching it on TV every year, and then you being out there, it's like, whoa, like, this is really it. So it was honestly like a full circle moment.
Why San Diego State? When you think back in your recruitment, again, coming out of Sacramento area, the state of California, what made San Diego State the right fit for you?
Just what they pride themselves on. And Coach Luster was telling me that, it being easy isn't always the best route. And that really stuck with me, and that resonated with me. So I kind of took that, and that's how I kind of went about it. I talked with my family, of course, and, I have family down here, and some of my family was actually originated from here. So, and it was just a no-brainer for me, honestly.
We hear so much. I think Aztec fans are so aware of the role that name, image, and likeness plays now in college athletics, right? This is a new world, maybe not necessarily for you because you're entering your second year of college, so this is how it's been since you've been in college. But what role is something like the Mesa Foundation, the collective centered around San Diego State men's and women's basketball, playing for San Diego State student athletes? How significant is it?
Oh, man, it's honestly, it's everything because we get to build community and, they help us out financially. So it's honestly the best of both worlds, if you ask me. And just what we do for the community, how it can bring people together is honestly like no better feeling than that.
By the way, Mesa Foundation, SD.org, we've told you about this. We've had some guests on over the last couple of weeks. They are doing that matching campaign. It's going on now through the end of the month. When you think about the upcoming season and the roster that's being put together, and maybe it's not fully finalized, how do you feel? I know you guys haven't yet gotten on the floor, and there's still plenty of time until November, but what do you think about the pieces that are being put together by the coaching staff?
Oh, I trust them 1,000%. They've been in situations to where, they've got plenty of experience, so I trust anything that they do or say. So just putting full faith in them and understanding that they have a plan and be willing to follow that by any cost.
What type of relationship did you establish in your first year with like a fellow freshman entering now his sophomore year, Miles Heide? What's that dynamic like as you guys go through your first year plus at San Diego State?
Yeah, it's honestly it's a great relationship. It's like my brother at this point. So we went through it together, and the rest of the freshman or my freshman class going into our sophomore year, we became real close, like brothers. It feels like I knew those guys for 10 plus years, but it's only been a year.
When you think back on your first year, did you turn to some of the upperclassmen and ask about their experiences as a freshman? I mentioned earlier, like, hey, a Miles Bird, kind of took that backseat role for that team that went through the NCAA tournament. I think about Lamont 4 years ago, and he got on the floor like you did, but he didn't play a prominent role, obviously, when he was a freshman. Did you lean on some of the veteran players to kind of to help them explain the process to you?
Oh, definitely. Lamont, Micah, Jaden Ledee, those guys they're like my big brothers and plenty more. So just really, I was asking them a lot of questions, and they was giving me great insight on, the process and what it takes to be great here specifically. So definitely.
Jaden Ledee's an NBA player, right? I mean, you went up against this guy, you watch this guy in practice for a full year, you see what he did on the floor. Jaden Ledee's going to play in the NBA, right?
For sure. No question.
Coming off, obviously, an amazing year on the Mesa. Jaden Ledee, BJ, we're excited for you. We really are. Big year, big opportunity, obviously, coming up. Your sophomore season on the Mesa this fall. We appreciate you taking a few minutes for us, and best of luck. Any summer plans? Are you heading home, or what's your plan for the next handful of weeks?
Well, I'll be heading home tomorrow, and then I'll be back in San Diego on next Tuesday, and then just back to work.
Back to work, getting ready for the upcoming season. BJ, appreciate it, man. We're looking forward to seeing you on the Mesa at VA House this fall. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you.